Love has a way of crossing thrones and borders, turning duty into devotion and turning fear into courage. Tonight, I invite you to wander through palaces and quiet gardens, following the footsteps of royal couples who proved that love can outlast even the longest century. These stories aren't just about velvet gowns or gilded halls. They're about two people choosing to grow together when the world was watching. They remind us that perseverance in love isn't passive resignation but a brave, ongoing choice to show up, listen, and become better for each other. Our first stop is a tale that begins with a letter and ends with a vow. A young prince arrives in a foreign land and meets a queen who has learned to lead with both grace and fire. The invitation to companionship shakes away isolation that can creep into a crown wearer's heart. In the quiet hours, they share a conversation that feels almost like a melody. A promise that they will weather the storms that come from power and wit alike. Then comes the moment that changes everything. A proposal of partnership grounded not in ownership but in mutual respect. Their marriage becomes the seedbed of reform. A partnership that reshapes a realm not by decree alone but by daily acts of loyalty, trust, and tenderness. The queen discovers that a husband's steady hands can lighten the burden of a sovereign's heavy crown, while the prince learns that strength without tenderness is hollow. Through years of duty and devotion, their bond grows deeper. And even when illness or sorrow tries to split them, their love reorients their paths back toward each other. The world may have watched their coronation, but it was the quiet mornings, the notes passed between dawn and dusk, the shared silences that proved their love could endure. And when the long arc of their work touched a horizon where generations would remember them, it wasn't triumph alone that echoed through the halls, but a shared legacy of partnership, courage, and heart. From the lanes of the ancient empire, we travel to a city of marble and light, where a love story was written in the margins of empire and etched into the Taj Mahal's white dreams. Long before glass and cameras, a queen's heart found a confidant in a devoted king. The couple faced scandalous shadow, and they faced the cut of political knives that could sever a dynasty. Yet in their private rooms, where the only witnesses were candles and the brush of a breeze, they spoke of simple joys: tomorrow's sunrise, a shared garden, a quiet night when the world slept and their hands found each other again. They built a temple of life where passion and duty learned to coexist. The king's vows weren't loud, but they traveled through time, guiding a people toward unity, art, and culture. The queen's courage shone in acts of mercy and in a devotion to the realm that never eclipsed her devotion to him. Even when the empire trembled, their bond remained the steady North Star, their love a compass that helped them make choices that honored both crown and heart. The tomb and the temple together whispered a truth: love that endures can outshine the fiercest thunderstorms. Next, we meet a pair whose union bridged rival kingdoms and bridled a restless people with shared vision. In a world weary of wars, they chose a different script. A marriage designed not only to unite lines of blood but to heal old wounds. The queen, swift as a fox in council, patient as the earth in waiting, meets a king who sees the person behind the throne. They discover that listening is a form of leadership, and that compromise is not weakness but precision in shaping a future. Their love grows in letters and counsels, in walks through gardens that bloom with tolerance, in celebrations that welcome artisans and scholars from every corner of the realm. When the night grows dark and the empire trembles, they remember the promise they whispered in a quiet room: that love would be their common language, that their partnership would be a model for a people who long to believe in a peaceful dawn. The court begins to hum with a new rhythm, a rhythm not of conquest, but of mutual nurture and lasting trust. And across the sea, in a different century yet connected by the same heartbeat, a modern royal couple learns that love isn't only a fairy tale, it's a practice. They face public pressure, schedules that would crumble ordinary hearts, and the endless glare of the spotlight. They teach by example that two people can choose the same goal and still hold space for each other's dreams. They walk through struggles together, balancing duty with intimacy, protecting vulnerable moments, and creating a home that feels like a refuge for their people and for themselves. Their romance is not a single thunderclap of passion, it's a patient, ongoing conversation, petals opening over years rather than hours. And when hardship rises, they lean into one another, finding humor in the chaos, resilience in the routine, and renewed vows in small, unremarkable acts of care. When a child's laughter fills a corridor or a quiet glance invites trust, others glimpse a simple truth. Love grows strongest when it learns to bend without breaking, when it remains generous and brave. By now you may be asking what these stories share that makes them so weighty, so enduring. It isn't the crowns, or the ceremonies, or the gilded frames that hold them up. It's the willingness to grow together in the face of fear, to keep showing up even when the world reminds them of limits. The fiercest battles they fought weren't waged with swords but with words, listening deeply, saying I'm here, and choosing to see the other person. It's in the tiny choices, the way a hand finds another in the corridor, how a public smile is matched by a private kindness, how a long letter becomes a lifeline when distance grows, that love reveals its true alchemy. And that is the richest treasure these royal couples leave behind. The belief that love is not a retreat from reality but a compass that helps two people navigate it together. If you're listening with a soft corner of your heart, you'll notice these stories don't erase hardship, they redefine it. They teach that perseverance isn't stubbornness but a patient commitment to the growth and happiness of another person. They remind us that a happy ending isn't a sudden fireworks show. It's a steady glow that grows brighter because two people chose to protect it, nourish it, and share it with others. The throne room can be a lonely place, but love, when tended with honesty and tenderness, can turn loneliness into a chorus that lifts entire kingdoms. And so we end where we began, with gratitude for the courage to love, and with hope that true love, even under a crown, can conquer all. As the pages keep turning, the heartbeat of these unions grows louder. Love that doesn't bow to time but sits beside it, patient and bright in the busiest rooms. Grace Kelly and Prince Rainier lived under the glare of endless cameras. Yet they found a rhythm that kept their focus on one another. They learned that glamour fades when shared with distrust, and strengthens when friendship takes the lead. In the years of duty, they carved out mornings for small rituals: a quiet coffee on the terrace, a stroll along the harbor, a gentle kiss at the palace gates. The world saw the crown. The couple knew the crown was merely a stage for something tender, the promise to protect, to listen, to grow. Their partnership wasn't built on grand declarations but on the endurance of ordinary promises. That is the alchemy they left behind. The idea that love survives the flashbulbs because it breathes in the everyday. It's a blueprint for how to stay human in a world that wants you to glitter then disappear. And their story is a gentle reminder that lasting love doesn't demand perfection, it asks for daily kindness. Across the ocean of time, in a distant northern realm, Queen Seraphine and King Orion faced rumors of intrigue and tides. They spoke in late-night letters, tiny acts that stitched trust, a shared diary of fears, a dish cooked together after a frostbitten day, a walk along the ramparts when the northern lights spilled down. Their alliance grew not through conquest but through patience and curiosity. When storms gathered, they chose dialogue over denunciation, and every compromise became a vow renewed. In time, the people saw a leadership that felt like home, a throne earned not by fear, but by tenderness and resilience. Two souls steering a kingdom by listening, empathy, and small daily acts. This is how love conquers all. These echoes of royal devotion aren't about flawless partners, but about brave, gentle persistence. A king who learns to listen as keenly as he commands. A queen who leads with mercy as surely as she asserts her will. They teach that love's strength isn't loud, it's steady, it's inclusive. It endures even when the world tests loyalty with whispers and wins. And when the days grow hard, the memory of a shared joke. A hand held through a doorway. A letter tucked under a pillow. Becomes a bridge back to trust. So, if you've ever doubted romance in the face of duty, let these stories breathe again inside you. A crown is nothing without a heartbeat to share it with. A throne shines brightest when two people bring their whole selves to the table, faults, fears, and fierce tenderness alike. Love that conquers all isn't a single act of triumph. It's a lifelong practice of choosing each other, again and again, through storms and stillness, through praise and patience. SFX, C_waves, May 3rd. These legends, real and imagined, remind you that romance is not merely a moment of magic but a daily decision to stay, to listen, to nurture, and to keep hoping. If you carry this belief in your seat of courage, perhaps your own chapter will prove the same truth. That love is a patient revolution. And its happy ending is simply the next moment you choose to love. Until next time, may your heart keep faith with wonder and